Good morning. Happy Earth Day again. What a special day. What a special day. And I love that it's raining because it just means that the flowers are going to bloom. Yeah, the rose is going to come. It's going to be a beautiful spring. It already is. My garden is popping. I'm just so excited. So we are celebrating Earth Day today, and it is going to be a little bit different of a service. I alluded to that a little bit ago. We're going to do some things that are experiential, and it will not be your typical, I'm just going to talk, although I will for a moment, but we are going to move into something. So I'm going to bait you so you can get excited with me, because it's going to be pretty special. I want to talk just briefly about Earth Day. Did you know it's 54 years old today? 54. And I have to give a shout out to all the boomers in the room, because this is your gift to us. Thank you. 1970 was the first one. They said 10% of the country in the United States, it started here, 10% celebrated that year. That's a lot of people. Today, flash forward to 2024, we have 1 in 8 people on the planet. That means over 1 billion people are celebrating this with us today. If you just tap into that for a moment, think about 1 billion people honoring the earth. That is just mind-blowing. And we talk a lot about consciousness here, and raising consciousness, and Christ consciousness, and collective consciousness. That is a prime example of how consciousness grew from a group of people in the late 1960s that had this vision, and here was what we have today. 190 countries on the planet are celebrating with us. 190, and there's only a couple that are not, and you can probably imagine who they are. It's mostly for political reasons. They're not allowed to do it. But the rest of us will celebrate with them. In fact, this is the largest secular event on the planet. So that means it crosses all religions, it crosses all cultures, all languages. We are all honoring this beautiful planet that is our mother and our home, and she deserves that love. Also, we're celebrating a few things here as well. Did you know Unity is a big green organization? We started our movement for what we call Earth Care back in 2001. So it's been around for about 23 years. It started as a movement to raise awareness of how to be sustainable inside of local congregations. And it really stems from our very own Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. So if you're brand new to Unity, you may not know those names, but they were the founders of Unity back in the late 1800s. They started a pray-in. You could write prayers via mail and mail them into Charles and Myrtle, and they would answer them from their living room. And it grew into what we now have we're across many countries. Reverend Darlene says we have people in South Africa that watch us. We have people all throughout the Caribbean and South America. So it's a very big organization that's dedicated to having a lower carbon footprint. In fact, Myrtle Fillmore said that she had been accused of worshiping nature. Her quote about nature is surely the glorified face of good. I just think that's so precious, that she also may have been a little bit of a dirt-worshiping pagan, as they say. The Earth Care mission that Unity has, I just want to read their mission statement. To foster awareness of our spiritual oneness with the earth, to promote active care of all creation, and to assist congregations in integrating an earth-oriented spirituality into their ministry. An earth-oriented spirituality. So we are being called to live in communion with the divine, as it is represented here in this manifestation of the earth. Everything is holy. Everything is sacred. In fact, the talk for today is called Sacred Earth, Sacred Being. We know that the earth is sacred. Our call is, how are we being sacred? How are we being in alignment? How are we connecting into the earth? Did you know that we have a sustainability team here? If you've been to any of our events that we have, you'll notice that we have compostable cups, we have compostable forks and knives, and everything is able to be recycled. We're getting some solar panels installed. Can't get that word out. We are committed to our carbon footprint and lowering our carbon footprint here. And our sustainability team is here to help with that mission. Is anybody here on the sustainability team? Would you please stand? No one? They stayed home. Amy said they stayed home to save gas. Yes, perfect. That's exactly what they did. Reverend Darlene asked if I would rededicate ourselves to another year of sustainability. So I'm going to do that here in just a moment. I'm going to read the covenant that we have created here at Unity of the Blue Ridge so that we can recognize our commitment to the earth. But I want to brag a little bit about us. I don't know if you all know this. This is why I really wanted to highlight our sustainability team. So Unity, the big worldwide organization based out of Kansas City, acknowledges 4 congregations or 4 spiritual communities that go above and beyond. You see where I'm going with this, right? They go above and beyond to make sure that they're green. And they call it the Green Star Award. And we were one of those 4 congregations last year in 2023. That is pretty special. I think there was one in California, and the fact that I think we're pretty much holding up the entire South here. So go Unity of the Blue Ridge. So I'm proud of us for doing that. We are really committed to this process. So I'm going to read our Earth Care Covenant as Darlene asked me to do. Unity of the Blue Ridge recognizes the sacred interconnection of all creation. We are a community of ambassadors and stewards for sustainability. We respect the body of Mother Earth and our own bodies to create and maintain health, balance, and love. We commit to honor the process of the natural ecological cycles by only making positive environmental decisions through intention, education, dedication, and loving conscious action. We do our part to practice sacred interconnectedness. So we, again, on this Earth Day, are committing to another year of being green, of recycling, of taking care of our Mother Earth as she takes care of us. For those of you who know me a little bit and you've been around for a bit, you may know that I have this strong affinity to earth-based practices. I consider myself a very conscious person and connect in deeply with Mother Earth. I started studying with an indigenous tribe in Peru. You may have heard me talk about them before. They're called the Caro tribe. They're based out of the Andes, and they're kind of in the Cusco area and in the high mountains. I've been studying with them for about 7 years, and the reason I got so deeply connected with them is I'm a licensed counselor. That's what I do by trade, and they have a very unique way of looking at trauma and mental health that is very earth-based. Everything they do, when they eat a meal, they give part of their meal back. They make prayers, they do offerings. They're always in reverence with Mother Earth, who they call Pachamama. And they celebrate their own version of an Earth Day as well. They actually have more than one. This is really just like a secular one. They have their own spiritual traditions that happen very frequently. And they just walk in this way that I consider to be so sacred. And I'm so touched by them that the next bit of what we're going to do is really my way of honoring who they are and what they do and how they teach me, and hopefully all of us, to walk in a sacred way and a light footstep on the planet. They have really helped me with my own professional experiences, and that I've taken some of what they have and applied it to my own therapy. And it has worked wonders with people because it's all, again, connecting into the earth and acknowledging that we live here. And they give a lot to the earth. They give their sorrows as well as their praises. It's a beautiful, beautiful relationship that's very, as they say, it's called Aini, which means sacred reciprocity. They're in constant sacred reciprocity. So last year, I got to go to Peru for the first time, and I took my son, Marcus, with me. My husband got to go separately, and that's a whole other story. But we were there for about 2 weeks with my good friend, Marna McGee, and her son, and my, as I say, my surrogate mother, Olga. And we just communed with them. It was so sacred and holy. I just can't even begin to express how Peru has changed my life and how the people there have changed my life. So today we are going to do what is called essentially a land blessing. We are going to bless this land here on the unity grounds on which we stand. And Marna is going to lead us in that. And I just want to tell you a little bit about this magical person who I call my soul sister. So I will tell you that one day, it was, I think, second grade, my son Marcus comes home and goes, "Mom, I have a new best friend, and he's going to spend the night." And I said, "Okay, well, okay, who is this kid?" And he said, "His name is Koichi." And I knew that the universe was working some magic in that moment, because that is a word that comes from the tribe that I had been studying with, the Karo. And I was like, who is this Koichi? Who is this? And I was like, of course you can invite him over, because now I'm intrigued. So we invite him over, and I meet Marna, his mom. So Marna was married to a gentleman who was what in the Andes they call a Paco, which essentially means shaman. Loosely, that's what we would say. It's the same equivalent. And he was a medicine man, and he was a very beautiful being. And they had a son named Koichi. Now they live here. Well, Marna does, with Koichi. Denise, unfortunately, passed away. That was her spouse. But we have been connected in this deep way and walking this path together. And I think the medicine of Peru has brought us even deeper together. So I'm going to read you Marna's bio. As a young adult, Marna received the spiritual call to explore and study shamanic energy medicine and various healing arts in order to heal the trauma, abuse, and acute illness that she experienced during her childhood and adolescence, and also to cultivate her own healing work to serve and support others. In 2005, after over a decade of studies, Marna opened her own energy medicine and shamanic healing arts to assist others in their healing journeys. In 2008, she traveled regularly to Peru to study energy medicine and with various men and women of the high Andes. With the blessing of the Pacos, what we would call shamans, she started integrating the sacred wisdom and medicine ways she had been learning from them into her current work. So I'm going to call Marna up, and this is where we're going to get experiential. Yes.
I don't think I've used a microphone before. Can you hear me? Okay, great. Okay. Thank you so much for having me and for welcoming me here today to share some of this beautiful wisdom of the high Andes of Peru. So we're going to begin with a bit of a kind of meditation, and at first you can remain seated, and then in a when we call the 4 directions at a certain point in our ceremony, in our practice, any of you that would like to stand, you can, and I can prompt you to do so at that time. So you're welcome to have your eyes open or closed, whatever feels right for you. So to begin, I invite each of you to visualize yourselves each inside of your own rose quartz crystal. And take 3 deep breaths to anchor yourself inside of your crystal. And deepen your roots down from your feet into beloved Pachamama, Mother Earth. And acknowledge and honor Pachamama, Mother Earth. Presence with her. Commune with her. And through your roots, open to receive the gifts of beloved Pachamama, Mother Earth. With a deep breath in, receive the blessings of Pachamama. And when you breathe out gratitude to Pachamama. This is Aini, sacred reciprocity, through the breath. And now with your intention, reach your branches, like you have tree branches, up from you into the celestial star realms. Reach deeply into the stars. Acknowledge and honor the celestial bodies. Cosmic Mother, Cosmic Father, the Cosmic Masters of Light, the Ancestral Masters of Light, the angels, the archangels. Presence with these celestial beings. Commune with them. And take a deep breath in to receive the blessings of the celestial star realms. And when you breathe out, offer gratitude to them. And we will now honor and acknowledge the 4 sacred directions. And if any one of you wishes to stand to do so, we will face the directions. And it might be a little bit different of a directional order than you might know about from other traditions. And I will give my best instructions to help you to follow the directional coordinates that we're working with today according to the Andean lineage that I study with. And let me get... So we will first start by facing the east. Hampui antisuyu, hampui, hampui, to the sacred portal of the east, the place of the rising sun, the place of new beginnings, of new cycles, and of new life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyay, anyay, anyay. And now we turn 180 degrees to face the west. Hampui kontisuyu, hampui, hampui, to the sacred direction of the west, the place of the setting sun, the place of closing and completing cycles. And we turn a quarter turn clockwise to face the north. That's east, west, north. Yeah. Either way would work. It would work. Hampui chinchai suyu, hampui, hampui, to the sacred direction of the north, the portal of our cosmic alliances. We reach through this portal to the cosmic masters of light in the farthest reaches of the galaxy and invite them to join us in our sacred walk, our sacred work, our sacred mission on earth. And we turn clockwise 180 degrees to face the south. Hampui kolyasuyu, hampui, hampui, to the sacred direction of the south, the portal of Pachamama, Mother Earth. We reach through this portal to the healing forces of nature, of Mother Nature and of Mother Earth, inviting these healing forces to support us in our sacred walk, our sacred work, and our sacred mission on Earth. Ho, hayaya. You may be seated. Next, we will support Unity of Blue Ridge in anchoring and deepening with its sacred spiritual allies to support it in all aspects of its sacred mission, purpose, service, and offering on earth. First, we'll talk a little bit about this process to familiarize you with it, and then we will engage in the sacred ceremonial invocation. This practice, this invocation, is really about sacred positioning or spiritual positioning. The rooting of unity's roots, like a sacred tree, into Pachamama, and deepening that root to really strengthen or re-strengthen that connection. In this way, we help localize unity in a sacred energetic center, a sacred vortex. So we help and support unity to center itself and localize itself in a specific apu, a specific nyusta, and unity's Pachamamita. To clarify that a little bit, And Apu in the Quechua language, Quechua is one of the indigenous languages of not just the Peruvian Andes, but the Andes of South America. It's one of the indigenous languages. So Apu is a Quechua word that translates more or less as the divine masculine manifested or materialized in nature, usually as a mountain. So you can think of an Apu as a mountain, or in the Andes of Peru, they would say a holy mountain, a holy being, a spirit being. So that is what an Apu is. A Ñusta is, again, a Quechua word, and a Ñusta is the divine feminine manifested or materialized in nature, usually as a lagoon, a lake, a waterfall, or a body of water, such as an ocean like the Atlantic Ocean. The Pachamamita, so as you have understood from Meagen sharing and a little bit of mine, Pachamama in the Quechua language means Mother Earth. Pachamamita is literally translated as Little Mother or Daughter of Mother Earth. And in this case, Pachamamita means the spirit or the light being that lives in the land where you are. So in this case, this would be the Pachamamita of unity of Blue Ridge is the spirit or the light being that lives in the land where unity sits. The spirit of the land, the spirit of the church. So, let me see. So as I said, in order to support unity in anchoring and deepening with its sacred spiritual allies, we will first call upon unity of Blue Ridge's Apu, which would be the closest, geographically we would say more or less, the closest mountain to unity. And we would also call upon the closest Ñusta, body of water, lake, to unity, and the Pachamamita, which will be for us just really kind of, each of us can feel into the spirit of the land here, the spirit of the church. You can just find your way to attune and commune to that spirit. So Meagen and I did some research on this and discovered that Forge Mountain is the closest proximal mountain, or Apu, to Unity Church. So Meagen got out the map and looked at it and discovered that it's the mountain that is most proximal to Unity Church. So we will be calling upon Apu Forge Mountain. And for the Ñusta, the female spirit, nature spirit that is closest to unity, is Lake Julian. So that's who we will call for our Ñusta, for unity. And then again, for the Pachamamita of unity, we want to use our intention to connect with the spirit, the light being that lives in the land upon which unity sits. And also interesting, I thought this was interesting when I was taught this practice. We also, to connect with the Pachamamita, the spirit, the light being of the land upon which unity sits, we also named the actual physical address of unity. So the Pacos, the medicine men and women that I studied with in the Andes or study with, talk about the spirits are listening. They actually know where we are, and they really want us, though, to meet them by saying, we're here, and we live here, and this is our church, and it's at this location, which is 2041 Old Fanning Road, is that right? Old Fanning Bridge Road, yeah. So it's a real way that we really anchor ourselves in relation to our spiritual alliances by declaring these, our locations or localizing ourselves. So After we call upon the closest Apu and Yusta and the Pachamamita of Blue Ridge, Unity Blue Ridge, we next call upon the Apu and Yusta of the village in which Blue Ridge Unity resides, which is Mills River. So, and again, Meagen and I did research, and actually the closest is Apu Forge Mountain and also Yusta Lake Julian. So that would be for the village of Mills River. Mills River, not North Mills River. Mills River, yeah, okay. After that, after we call upon and anchor ourselves with the Unity's village, Apu and Yusta, we then support each member of Unity Church, of this congregation, to connect with and invoke your own birth Apu and birth Yusta. So I recognize that this may not be a familiar concept for you. In the Andes, this is a very, very important for them to know who their birth mountain is, what mountain or guardian spirit was really holding space for each person when that person was born at the time of their birth. Because in the Andes, they talk about we have many more than two parents. We have, our biological mother and father, but we also, Pachamama is our mother, Mother Nature, the lakes, the lagoons, the oceans are our mothers, the mountains are our fathers. It goes on and on like that. But very important for them because in the Andes, they live amongst the glaciers and amongst glacial lakes and lagoons. It's very important for them to honor and acknowledge their birth mountain and their birth lake or Yusta, the body of water. I mean, where there's a glacier, there's a glacial lake, and the people of the Andes pretty much all live amongst glaciers. So if you don't know who your birth mountain is, I had to do research on this years ago myself, and still I have some questions about it, to be honest. But it's okay if you don't know who your birth mountain is. It's okay if you don't know who your birth Yusta is. It's just your intention and making a connection with two guardian spirits that are your spiritual parents that are from nature. And again, if you feel inspired after today to go home and do some research about who your guardian mountain spirit or land spirit and guardian water spirit might be from where you were born, it's really, really exciting to do. I really have enjoyed exploring that myself. So, but again, during the invocation, you can just tune in with your intention to who your birth spiritual guardian Apu and lake are. Okay, and then after we, Meagen, you were going to talk a little bit about that? No, just keep going? Okay. After we guide you to connect and commune with your own birth, Apu and Yusta, then we will call upon and honor the regional Apu and Yusta, or the Apu and Yusta of the region of Western North Carolina. That's the region where Unity is located. And that, according to Meagen's and my research, is Apu Mount Mitchell, and also Yusta Fontana Lake, because again, the region, it's much bigger. And so this is gonna be a really big mountain and a really big lake. And so we're gonna work with Apu Mount Mitchell and Yusta Fontana Lake for our regional Apu and Yusta. And then lastly in this process, we call upon and honor a global Apu and Yusta. There are global circles of masters, circles of Apus and circles of Yustas that are the most powerful beings on the planet that guide and steward, protect, and support us. So as Meagen and I were attuning to this, we felt guided to set or ask Apu Mount Shasta, which is in California, I think is right, or Oregon? California. I know the spirit of Apo Mount Shasta, but I don't always remember the actual location. So, and then for the Nusta is Mama Pacifica, or Mama Pacifico, they would say. So that's the Pacific Ocean for our global Nusta. So that is a little bit about this process of spiritual positioning and calling upon Blue Ridge Unity's spiritual alliances. For our sacred ceremonial invocation, we will call upon, acknowledge, and honor all of this powerful spiritual allies in the name of unity in a sacred process. We will guide you to help you attune and commune, and Meagen and I will also make offerings to each spirit ally in a bowl, which we will later offer to Mother Earth. And so for this, you're welcome to be seated and just tune in a way that feels comfortable for you during this process. Is there anything you wanted to add or share, Meagen? Okay. Okay. So again, you can have eyes open or closed, whatever is most comfortable for you. And again, visualize yourself inside of a rose quartz crystal, the crystal of unconditional love, and take 3 deep, conscious breaths. We acknowledge and honor Unity Church's Center Apu, Center Nusta, and Center Pachamamita. Hampui, Apu Forge Mountain. Hampui, Hampui. By the way, Hampui means come, so we're invoking these spirits to come and hold us. Hampui, Nusta, Lake Julian. Hampui, Hampui. Hampui, Unity Church, Pachamamita, at 2041 Old Fanning Bridge Road, Mills River, North Carolina. Anyai, anyai. Anyai. Anyai means thank you. Be present now, feeling, integrating, receiving the light and blessings and love of these 3 wonderful beings. Apu Forge Mountain, Nusta Lake Julian, and Pachamamita of Blue Ridge Unity Church. Breathe in deeply to receive the blessings of these wonderful beings, and breathe out gratitude in Aini, in sacred reciprocity, to these wonderful spirit beings. Next, we acknowledge and honor the Apu and Nusta of the village of Mills River, where Unity is located. Again, this is Apu Forge Mountain and Nusta Lake Julian. Hampui, Apu Forge Mountain. Hampui, Hampui. Hampui, Nusta Lake Julian. Hampui, Hampui. Anyai, anyai, anyai. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Connect with these beings. Acknowledge and honor their presence. Feel their love and their light. Commune with them. Breathe in deeply to receive from them their blessings and breathe out gratitude to them in Aini, sacred reciprocity. And next, each of you in your own way can link and connect with, acknowledge and honor your birth Apu and your birth Nyusta. Just feel their presence, their love, their light. They were your sacred witnesses when you were born. They were holding you and loving you, whether you were conscious of this or not. And they rejoice now that you are becoming conscious of them. They've been waiting for you to become aware of them, to connect with them. They've been loving you all these years. You can open to receive their blessings, their light, their love. Breathe in their blessings with a conscious inhalation and breathe out gratitude to them. And next we call upon and acknowledge and honor the powerful regional Apu and Nyusta of this region of Western North Carolina where unity is located. This is Apu Mount Mitchell and Nyusta Lake Fontana. Hambui, Apu Mount Mitchell. Hambui, Hambui. Hambui, Nyusta Lake Fontana. Hambui, Hambui. Anyai, anyai, anyai. Thank you, thank you, thank you with our hearts. Feel their presence. Feel their love. Feel their light in the depths of your heart, of your whole being. Breathe deeply in to receive their blessings and breathe out gratitude in Aini. And now we call on the powerful Apu and Nyusta of the global circles. This is Apu Mount Shasta, and this is Nyusta Mama Pacifico. Hambui Apu Mount Shasta. Hambui, Hambui. Hambui Nyusta Mama Pacifico. Hambui. Hambui, anyai, anyai, anyai. Thank you, thank you, thank you with our hearts. Feel their presence. Feel their love, their light. Attune to them and commune with them, these masters of light that are holding us in unity. Take a deep breath in to receive their blessings, and in Aini, breathe out gratitude. We give thanks and deep gratitude to all of our powerful spirit allies for being with us. And just a final piece. I know we're running a little on time, but just a final piece because this is part of the process and it's very precious. While all of these spirit allies are very present with us, you can each take some time in your own way to talk to these beings, to confide in them, to share with them everything that is in your heart, to share with them everything you are going through, everything you are feeling. If you are having challenges or difficulties in your life, tell them. They know best how to support you, how to help you, how to guide you, to protect you, and to bring powerful healing. Express yourself to them, your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts, your intentions, your purpose. This is powerful communion. So take a few moments to really confide in these beautiful beings who are here for you, each as individuals and as a congregation of unity. Since we don't have much time today, we'll keep that short, but know that you can return to that practice anytime with these spiritual beings or any spiritual beings that you feel a connection with. So again, we give thanks to the powerful Apus and Eustace we have called on, to our powerful spirit allies, to Unity's Pachamamita, for strengthening and re-strengthening this powerful alliance of circles and circles of masters of light. In deep gratitude, we say Anyay, 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 Anyay. And we send these powerful spirit allies back to their locations in nature. Knowing that we can call upon them anytime. Oh, thank you so much. Anyay, Anyay, Anyay.